So we are starting. Thank you for joining us, Venerable, and taking this journey all the way from Bailakuppe, and we look forward eagerly to your teachings.
Thank you, Madhvi. Yeah. Okay, so this is the fourth session on the three jewels of refuge. So in the previous sessions, we have covered what are the causes that could lead one to seek refuge. And then what are the objects that we need to take refuge in? And then we also saw what is the way to go for refuge. And then I think we've briefly seen what are the benefits of taking refuge. So during my last session, we had stopped at trying to understand what the word refuge actually means and why it is referred to as the three jewels. So can we maybe let's just refresh that. Why do we call the three jewels as such, three jewels? Any idea? So what is the reason that we call the three jewels the three jewels? So there are different qualities that, yes.
And they provide compassion and protection.
Yes.
Security.
Right. Okay, so there are six qualities that they possess. And it's because of those six qualities that we refer to them as the three jewels. So like, the comparison is made with a mythical jewel called the Chintamani. Have you heard about the Chintamani? Wish-fulfilling jewel. Yeah. So just like the wish-fulfilling jewel, the three jewels are supposed to be quite rare. Yeah. Their arising in this world is quite rare. So that's one of the reasons. The other reasons are they're stainless, and they're free from any kind of flaws. Yeah. The Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel, they're all free from flaws. So like a precious stone, like a precious jewel, they're stainless. And they're luminous. So they're endowed with the ability to illuminate the reality of all phenomena, which is what we seek, wisdom of the reality of all the phenomena in order to advance on the path. Yeah. So they have that ability to illuminate. So like a precious stone, like a precious jewel, which is luminous, the three jewels also have this luminosity associated with them. And that's the reason, the three jewels of refuge are called as such. Then they are like ornaments, yeah. So peerless in the thought, in that they always the three jewels. The primary preoccupation is to facilitate accumulation of virtue, and nothing else. So in that sense, they stand out in samsara. In that sense, they are deemed to be beautiful and precious. And they are endowed with all the perfect qualities, the supreme qualities. So they have this magnificence or elemental magnificence. So although in our world,
Endowed with
supreme qualities, supreme qualities. So there are different kinds of teachers in our world. All of them have wonderful qualities, because of which they've attained fame and position in the society. But the three jewels, unlike the other sources of refuge, they do not kind of lead you on to any kind of worldly attainments. Yeah, because the worldly achievements are not permanent, and ultimately they're bound to change into something which is not so wonderful, and hence they would not be capable of benefiting others. But the three jewels bring eternal peace and unchanging, chainless happiness. So that's the reason they're supposed to be magnificent at an elemental level. And they're immutable. Immutable in the sense that they're not subject to the hold of desire or hatred. Yeah. So they're free from all the influence of all the afflictions like desire, craving, hatred, uh, and whether it's the Dharma jewel or the Buddha jewel or the Sangha jewel, once they've attained that state where they're free from the hold of desire and hatred, they're not bound to change into something that would be subject to the influence of these afflictions. So they're immutable in that sense. So these are the 6 reasons or the 6 qualities which make them, which is the reason why they call the 3 jewels. They're translated as Konchok Sum in Tibetan, which is actually not a literal translation of the word Ratna. Three Ratna is the term in Sanskrit. In Tibetan, it's the import of that term that is translated. Kon means rare, yeah, and Cho means supreme. So something that is rare and supreme. So Kunchok Sum, the 3 jewels of refuge. So the meaning of the import of that term, three Ratna, is translated in Tibetan, and that captures the essence actually. So the Uttara Tantra Shastra, while reflecting on why these 3 jewels are called the 3 jewels of refuge, it says,
Which one?
it's okay. Yeah. So the Uttara Tantra Shastra says, Ratnani Durlabha Utpadan. So Durlabh is rare. So their arising is Durlabh. Nirmalatvat. So Nirmal is to be stainless, to be free from any kind of defilements. And Prabhavat is to have the ability to influence because of their luminous nature, the luminosity. They are like ornaments, Loka Alankar. So Alankar is an ornament. Bhutatvad Agratvan. So they are supreme amongst all the physical material elements. And Nirvikar. So Nirvikar is to be immutable, to have the property of being immutable. So this is how the 3 jewels are described in the Uttara Tantra Shastra. So this is where we stopped in the previous session, and I'd also asked you to do some homework. So have you done the homework? I'd asked you to look up the definition of the 3 jewels. So we'll briefly discuss the definition of the Buddha jewel. So I'd asked you to look up the definition of the Sangha jewel and the Dharma jewel. Do you have any thoughts on that?
The Buddha, you can say that is an embodiment of a bodhisattva.
Yes.
All that's perfect.
Sorry, all that is
It's to
perfect.
overcome all his negativities and perfected all the positive qualities.
Okay.
Something that we aim towards.
Okay,
The Dharma would be the instrument which helps us to attain that.
right.
And the Sangha will provide us with the right type of company and motivation
Right.
to work towards that.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that is the description of the 3 jewel, but there's the definitions are a little more specific. So we'll discuss what the definitions are. In today's session, what we'll do is we'll discuss the definitions of those 3
So
jewels.
I read somewhere that the etymology of Buddha is Buddh means the eradication of all afflictions, and Da means the development of everything that is virtuous. Is that etymology?
Similar, yeah.
It's correct.
We are going to discuss all those things today, yeah. So what we'll do in our session today, we'll discuss the definitions of the 3 jewels, and then we'll also look up, discuss the sutra called the Sutra Remembering the 3 jewels. So the Sutra Remembering the 3 jewels enlists all the qualities of the 3 jewels. So we'll discuss each of those qualities and see what they imply. So that's what we're going to do today. Yeah. So before we do that, let's just take a moment to calm our minds, and we'll do a short visualization meditations. So since we are discussing the 3 jewels, what we'll do is a short sadhana, visualizing the Buddha jewel, and we'll use the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha to do this visualization. So you're familiar with the visualization meditation. We've done it a few times. I'll just give you the broad instructions, and then you can reflect. As I give you the guidelines, you can reflect on those instructions. Okay, so just make sure that your posture is right. Back erect, shoulders straight, limbs relaxed, left palm holding the right palm, tip of the thumbs touching each other. Tongue just resting behind the upper row of teeth. And eyes either half closed or half open or fully closed. And then in the space in front of you at a distance of about 2 meters, at the level of your forehead, visualize a large golden throne adorned with all kinds of precious stones and jewels, and supported at the four corners by a pair of snow lines, representing the four fearlessnesses that characterize an omniscient state. On this golden throne is a fully blossomed lotus, signifying the attainment or realization that is freed from all kinds of stains and defilements of samsara. On that is the sun disk, signifying the wisdom aspect of the state of omniscience. And on that is a moon disk, signifying the illusory body of the omniscient state. So the Buddha is, Shakyamuni Buddha is seated on this throne, on the seat of the fully blossomed lotus, the sun disk, and the moon disk, signifying that he has attained the union of clear light and the illusory body. The lotus, the sun disk, and the moon disk could also alternatively signify the three principal aspects of the path: renunciation, wisdom, and bodhicitta. So Shakyamuni Buddha is seated on this seat. He has perfected all the realizations and also cleared away all the suffering and obscurations. He is our ultimate guru and is indivisible from our root guru, who shows us the path to enlightenment. So Shakyamuni Buddha's body is magnificent, made of clear light, and he displays the aspect of a fully ordained bhikshu, wearing the three saffron robes of a bhikshu. His face is radiant and has a beautiful smile. His eyes are long, fine, and narrow. They direct their gaze at me and at the same time encompass all the sentient beings. They are half closed, signifying that Shakyamuni is in a meditative equipoise, meditating on the space-like emptiness nature of all phenomena. And at the same time, they're half open, signifying that while he is in the state of meditation on ultimate reality of all phenomena, he's also, out of compassion, working for the welfare of all sentient beings. His lips are red, hair blue-black, and each hair curls individually to the right. On the crown of his head is the Ushnisha, crown protrusion. His right hand, the right palm rests on the right knee, and the middle finger touches the moon disk, signifying that he has attained victory, conquered the Mara called Devaputra, Mara of desire, Left palm rests in the meditation mudra in his lap, signifying that he's conquered the Mara of afflictions. It holds a begging bowl filled with pure nectar, signifying that he's conquered the Mara of aggregates, Skanda Mara. And he's seated in a Vajra posture, signifying that he's attained victory over the Mara of death, or Mrityu Mara. He sits surrounded by an aura of light in this Vajra posture, signifying that out of compassion he is working for the welfare of all sentient beings. So every aspect of his physical being signifies the perfect realizations that he's attained and the merit that has been the cause for those attainments. Shakyamuni Buddha embodies all the gurus, all the Buddhas, the Dharma and the Sangha jewel. And from his heart emanate rays of light that pervade the entire space in the 10 directions. And numberless manifestations of Shakyamuni Buddha manifest on the tip of each of those rays to ripen all the sentient beings. One such ray is directed towards me. And Shakyamuni Buddha smiles at me and says, "Son of lineage, if you want to attain liberation, I'll guide you." Saying thus, he also promises to free me from the suffering of the lower realms. I, on the other hand, although I've taken numberless rebirths in samsara, I'm still not free from this cycle of suffering in samsara. By virtue of some good fortune, I've got this perfect human rebirth and have access to the doctrine. So all these freedoms and endowments that characterize my being right now, these will not last forever. They will be separated from me at the time of death, the timing of which is uncertain. And after my death in this lifetime, there's no guarantee that I'll have a human rebirth in the future. It's more likely that I'll be reborn in one of the lower realms where I'll have to endure a lot of suffering. And even if I'm reborn in the higher realms of the gods or humans, there's a lot of suffering in those realms too. So there's no place in samsara which is free of suffering. There's nothing to trust about samsara. Yet in this lifetime, because of this human rebirth, I'm endowed with this perfect ability, intelligence to discriminate between the flaws of samsara and the benefits of liberation. So I should reflect on these and resolve to work on the path to liberation. But mere individual liberation is not sufficient. I also need to work for the liberation of all sentient beings. And to do that, I need to cultivate the same capacity as an omniscient, enlightened Buddha. So I should aspire for the same state as a completely enlightened Buddha. And to help me reach that state, I need some assistance, guidance. And that guidance will come through the three jewels: the Buddha Ratna, who shows us the path, the teacher who shows us the path; the Dharma Ratna, the path itself; and the Sangha Ratna, the assembly of practitioners who cultivated insights into the path. So let's take refuge in these three jewels. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. And with the three jewels visualized in the space in front of you, let's also offer the 7-limb prayer. Start with the limb of homage. Visualize that the entire space is filled with copies of yourself, and you offer full-length prostrations with your body, and prostrations through your speech, and homage through speech, and homage through the mind. Then the limb of offering. Visualize that the entire space is filled with beautiful, precious offerings, and you extend these offerings to the three jewels. Then the limb of confession. Disconfess all the transgressions and infractions that you committed, if you've taken any vows or even otherwise, and resolve that you won't commit those infractions in the future. Then the limb of rejoicing, just rejoice in the merits of all the Buddhas, the Shravaka Arhants, the Pratyabuddha Arhants, the Bodhisattvas, past, present, and future. Make a plea to your gurus not to pass into nirvana and to continue turning the wheel of Dharma, the 5th and the 6th limbs. And then the 7th limb, dedicate. So dedicate all the merit that you accumulated to the cultivation of the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta. Let's do a short bodhicitta prayer to strengthen our bodhicitta aspiration. So I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of the perfections of giving, ethical discipline, patience, perseverance, meditative civilization, and wisdom, may I attain that state of complete enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. Okay. So, as I said, we'll discuss the definitions of the three jewels. So, in the last session, we had briefly looked at the definition of the Buddha jewel. So, do you recollect the definition or any part of the definition? Once again, let me pull out. Okay, so the Buddha jewel. Okay, so the Buddha jewel is defined as an ultimate source of refuge. It's an ultimate source of refuge, not a temporary or conventional source of refuge. So it's the final refuge that possesses the 8 virtuous qualities, including the quality of being uncompounded. Any idea what this means? This definition means? Yeah. So, okay, I'll give you the 8 qualities and then we'll discuss those 8 qualities. Yeah. So the first quality is an absence of production and destruction. So like, any compounded phenomena, any kind of composed phenomena would have these properties of arising and then disintegrating. Yeah. So the Buddha jewel is endowed with this attribute of being free from those attributes of being produced or disintegrating. So absence of production and destruction. So that is the virtuous quality of the
So that is
uncompounded.
birth and death in between.
Yeah. So the Buddha, our Buddha jewel itself, yeah, the being, the person itself may, the physical form may kind of disintegrate, yeah. But the Buddha jewel is referring to something else, yeah, something that is uncompounded. What it refers to, I'll just tell you. And then the second quality is that it has spontaneous accomplishment in the sense that it does not have to strive or resort to any kind of fresh endeavor, fresh effort to maintain that state of omniscience. That is the second quality. The third,
Spontaneous.
accomplishment, spontaneous accomplishment. Then the third quality is that it cannot be realized by a sound or an expressing term or a thought consciousness, exactly in accordance with how it appears to an awareness to which it appears. So it appears to the Buddha's omniscient mind. Yeah. And the way it appears to the Buddha's omniscient mind, that appearance cannot be verbalized. It cannot be described in words, nor can it be conceived by a thought consciousness. Even the Buddha himself cannot use words to describe it. It has to be experienced, or rather be internally cultivated. Yeah. So that is the third quality, that it cannot be expressed in accordance with its appearance to an omniscient consciousness. The fourth quality is that it realizes the final mode of existence of all existence. So all phenomena, they have a certain mode of existence, fundamental mode of existence. So the Buddha jewel realizes that final mode of existence. And it also realizes its conventional mode of existence. So it's phenomenal manifestation. So both its ultimate truth as well as its conventional truth. So the Buddha jewel realizes both these things. Then it has the quality of love or compassion, loving kindness. And it has the quality of power or potency. So the first 3 qualities can be kind of subsumed into the 7th quality, which is called the quality of personal purpose or personal aspiration or personal welfare, swarth. So it is endowed with personal purpose, or it is completed with personal purpose, the Buddha jewel. And the next 3 qualities, the 4th, 5th, and the 6th quality, they are subsumed into the 8th one, which is the fulfillment of others' welfare. Pararth Sampanna, and Swartha Sampanna.
That is the 4th.
The 7th and the 8th. The 7th and the 8th are kind of, just subsuming the 7th one, subsuming the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd one. And the 8th one is subsuming the 4th, 5th, and the 6th quality. They're just separately stated. But in effect, they're just kind of aggregating the first 3 and then the next latter 3, the 8th one. So these are the 8 qualities that describe the state of omniscience. And these are what are described as the Buddha jewel. So the definition is provided in a text called Uttara Tantra Shastra. It says, Asanskritam anabhogam aparapratyatva uditam. So it does not arise from other conditions. Buddhatvam jnana karunya shakta upetam dvayarthavat. Dvayartha is the two aspirations, the twin aspirations, the dual aspirations. One is the personal aspiration, and then the second one is the communal or the other aspiration, or aspiration directed for others' welfare. So, being unconditioned, so this is the definition: being unconditioned, effortless, not being produced through other conditions, and possessing wisdom, compassion, and power, Buddhahood is endowed with the two welfares. So this kind of describes the Buddha jewel. So as you see, this verse it describes the Buddha jewel, and it's kind of it consists of the 8 qualities which I just described. So these 8 qualities are the first quality is the quality of being unconditioned or uncompounded. Second one is spontaneous accomplishment or effortlessness. Third one is an awakening which is not through other conditions. Yeah. Fourth one is the quality of wisdom. Fifth one is the quality of compassion or love. And sixth one is the quality of potency or power. The seventh one is the fulfillment of one's own welfare. And the eighth one is the fulfillment of the welfare of others. Yeah. So let's look at the first one. It says asanskrita tattva, or being uncomposed or uncompounded or unconditioned. Why is it considered to be uncomposed or uncompounded? The text says because its nature is to be without a beginning, without a middle, and without an end. So what does it actually mean? So all these qualities need to be understood in terms of the 4 kayas that one actualizes when a practitioner, when a trainee accomplishes or actualizes the state of omniscience. So the 4 bodies that describe the state of omniscience are, so on the one hand, there's what is called the truth body, and on the other, there's something called the form body. So the truth body has 2 constituents. There's something called the nature truth body, Swabhavik Kai, and the second one is called the wisdom body, wisdom truth body, or the Jnana Kai. So Dharma Kai on the one hand and Rupa Kai on the other. So Dharma Kai has what? Swabhavik Kai and Jnana Kai. Yeah. So nature truth body and the wisdom truth body. And then on the other hand, there's the Rupa Kai, which has 2 constituents to it. There's something called the Sambhoga Kai, and there's something called the Nirmana Kai. So what we saw amidst us 2,600 years back in the form of Shakyamuni was the Nirman Kai of the Rupa Kai of Shakyamuni Buddha, his continuum. Yeah. And his continuum would be associated with the Dharma Kai, which would have the Swabhavik Kai and the Jnana Kai. So Swabhavik Kai, the Jnana Kai is the omniscient mind of the Buddha. So anybody who attains the state of Buddhahood would have a direct perception of all phenomena that can be known. So that mind is called the Jnana Kai. Yeah. And the purity or the emptiness nature of that mind, the ultimate nature of that mind is referred to as the Swabhavik Kai, or the nature truth body. So the nature truth body, as I just described, is the emptiness nature of the omniscient mind of a Buddha. So because it is emptiness, it is deemed to be an uncompounded, non-composed phenomenon. Yeah, it is not impermanent like the pot or this bottle. It's not compounded. It's not impermanent like this.
And also doesn't depend on causes and conditions.
Yeah, because it's a permanent phenomenon, it does not depend on causes and conditions. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it's beyond change. Yeah, it is beyond description of impermanence. So that is what we imply by this first quality, asanskritatva. or uncompounded nature, the uncompounded quality of the omniscient state. So the basis of the emptiness, the basis of the Swabhavikkai is the Jnanakai. Yeah. That itself is absolutely pure, right? The Jnanakai is the omniscient mind of the Buddha. So in that sense, the emptiness itself can be described as being exalted or perfect. Yeah. And the Buddha constantly kind of abides in this state. Yeah. He is in a state of meditative equipoise. Unlike trainees who be close to the state of Buddhahood, but not yet attain that state. They have to kind of sit in this meditative equipoise. They would have a realization of the emptiness nature of their minds, which are fairly refined. But their mind is not the omniscient mind. So, but even they would realize the emptiness nature of their minds. But that emptiness is not referred to as the Swabhavikaya. The Swabhavikaya has to have the Jnanakaya as its basis. So only the Buddha, once he's perfected that state, attained that state of perfection, his mind is called the Jnanakaya, and the emptiness nature, the pure nature of that mind is referred to as the Swabhavikaya. And because that is not impermanent, it is considered to be uncompounded or asanskrita. So the Buddha has actualized this state. Yeah. So it's also said that this state is also referred to as the Tathagat, the actualized state of the Tathagat Garbha. So Tathagat Garbha is a reference to the potency for Buddhahood that exists in all beings' mind streams, all sentient beings' mind streams. So when that is perfected, that state, in that state, the emptiness nature of the mind that is actualized the Tathagat Garbha, that is referred to as the Swabhavikaya. And the Tathagat Garbha itself is again unchanging. It's present in our mind streams. That potential is there, but we haven't actualized it. So in the state of Buddhahood, we actualize it. And the emptiness nature in that state is called as the Swabhavikaya, or the nature truth body, and that is considered to be uncompounded. So firstly, that Tathagat Garbha is not created. We said that it is not created. It doesn't have a beginning, hence it is not created. It does not have a middle, and it does not have an end. So why is that? Because Buddhahood or Tathagat Garbha is not created. It is inherent in the mind of all sentient beings from the beginning. And it is always present. So there is no cessation of Buddhahood in that sense. Yeah.
Venerable.
So this, yeah.
Sorry, just a small thing. So when you're talking about Dharmakaya, we're talking about the ultimate reality, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes.
So within that, when we are saying Swabhavik Kaya, then you're saying that's a permanent phenomena which is other than the ultimate reality. Is that what you're saying?
No. So ultimate reality is the emptiness, the non-inherent nature, the intrinsic nature of all phenomena, right? So what is being referred to here is the ultimate reality of the omniscient mind. When you talk about the Dharmakaya, so you speak about the ultimate reality in that state of omniscience. Yeah. So the omniscient mind is the basis for that emptiness. And that ultimate reality is referred to as the Swabhavikaya.
Okay.
The mind itself is called the Jnanakaya.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Otherwise, if we spoke about the ultimate reality of other phenomena also, as I said, even trainees on lesser levels, they've realized the emptiness nature of their mind, but they're not said to have actualized the state of actualized the Swabhavikaya. Yeah. It's only because the basis of that emptiness is a perfectly the perfect omniscient mind. That's why it's called a Swabhavikaya. Yeah. And that is because it is permanent, it is said to be uncompounded or uncompounded or uncomposed. Yeah. Okay, so in the middle, there is no actual presence of Buddhahood in the sense that it is solid. The Tathagat Garbha is an unchanging kind of state. Yeah, and in the end, again, once it's been actualized, you do not kind of change into some sort of lesser level. Yeah, you continue to abide in the state of Buddhahood. So even in that sense, the state of Buddhahood is considered to be, without a beginning, without a middle, without an end. So you could understand this quality in terms of these two explanations. Then the second quality was anabhogatva. So what does it mean? So the Swabhavik Kaya again kind of has two aspects to it. One is its nature itself, which is the emptiness nature of the Jnanakai, the emptiness nature of the Jnanakai. That is its nature, yeah. The second aspect of that, when we talk about Buddha, we are talking about a state where you have actualized these two attainments. Yeah. What are these two attainments? So there's a attainment which is can be described as purity from any kind of adventitious defilements. And the second one is the attainment of this nature truth body. Yeah. So the factor of purity from adventitious defilements. So you've cleared away all the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations from your mind stream. Yeah. And that leads to a certain kind of quietening or calming of the mind, clearing away all these defilements from your mind stream. So having cleansed one's mind stream of all the defilements and their latencies, the Buddha abides in that state of purity effortlessly. He does not have to strive for maintaining that purity anymore. And because all the defilements, all the obscurations have been removed. And he can cognize all phenomena effortlessly without any kind of striving. Yeah. So the spontaneous accomplishment, the second quality that I was talking about, because he's cleared away all the obscurations, in the form of, dualistic realization of phenomena and all the afflictive obscurations. The Buddha can cognize all phenomena effortlessly without any kind of striving. So he can also, while he can get to the ultimate nature of all phenomena, at the same time, he can also get to the conventional aspect of all phenomena, the conventional reality of all phenomena. So phenomena kind of manifest in different forms. Yeah. So he can actually get to the conventional reality of all the phenomena as well as the ultimate reality of all those phenomena simultaneously. Yeah. So the omniscient mind has realized, because it has realized the ultimate nature of all phenomena, it can also kind of get to its conventional manifestations. So the state of Buddhahood has freedom from all these defilements in the form of afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. It is free of all kinds of elaborations that these obscurations lead to. It is free of all kinds of conceptuality that these defilements lead to. Because, you realize the non-true, the non-intrinsic nature of all phenomena. You've seen the absence of the intrinsic nature of all phenomena. You're free of all the conceptuality that is associated with your grasping to true establishment of phenomena. And hence you can see the ultimate nature of phenomena as well as its conceptual its conventional manifestation. So you have this ability where you have access to both the ultimate level of reality as well as the appearances of phenomena. Yeah. So this is what the second quality is about. The second quality of Buddhahood is the ability to have attain the state of equanimity, or attain the state of spontaneous presence spontaneous accomplishment of the ultimate and the conventional manifestation of all phenomena. So because of that, because of him, the Buddha being free of all these obscurations, and because of him having access to both these realities, ultimate and conventional reality, he can work for the welfare of all sentient beings without any striving, without any effort. He can work for the welfare of sentient beings spontaneously. Okay, so the second quality is referring to the nature truth body, but that factor of the nature truth body which is pure of the adventitious defilements. The first one was that factor of the nature truth body which is just the emptiness nature of the omniscient mind. Okay, so the third quality is of not being produced through other conditions. Yeah. So the cognition of its objects. So there's the omniscient mind that cognizes other phenomena. So the appearance of the object of the omniscient mind, what does it take as its object? It takes the ultimate nature of that mind, which is the swabhavik kai of the jnana kai. Yeah. So that appears to the Buddha in his meditative state, and that appearance cannot be described in terms of words or cannot be conceived by a thought consciousness apart from the omniscient mind of a Buddha. So that's the reason why it is said to be not produced through other conditions. Yeah, it has to be realized personally. So that is the third quality. So the meditative equipoise in the state of omniscience, it does not have any appearance of any kind of conventional phenomena to it. Yeah. So this it recognizes itself, the omniscient mind. It recognizes itself without the introduction of any kind of outside assistance, through its own effort. Yeah. And as I said, that appearance, the appearance of its objects, the object that appears to the Jnanakai cannot be described in terms of words. It cannot be conceived by any other thought consciousness apart from the omniscient mind itself. And that is why it is called to, it is said to be free of other conditioning. It is not produced through other conditions. Apara pratyatva. Yeah. So it's a abhisambodhi. The inexpressible swabhavik kai is actualized by Buddha on his own, through his own meditative efforts, in his meditative voice. And he can stay with that realization without depending on any kind of external condition. So that is the third quality.
What could be an external?
External condition would be a teacher, for example. He has to elaborate or instruct. This is what it is, and this is how you can meditate on this. But in order for that to be done, that teacher has to express it, use words to describe it. That teacher has to firstly conceive it in his own thought consciousness, because he hasn't probably attained it. Yeah, that can't be done. That cannot be done. So this is the third quality. Then the fourth quality is the quality of wisdom, or jnana, abhisambodhi. And what is it? It refers to the Buddha's awareness of both the ultimate truth, the unfabricated fundamental reality of all phenomena, and the phenomenal truth. So both aspects. So the ultimate truth as well as the conventional truth. Yeah. So the perfect knowledge of the Buddha has these two aspects: the knowledge of seeing phenomena as they are. So things as they are, the reality of phenomena as they are, and the knowledge of seeing the multitude and variety of phenomena. So because you're not grasping at the true establishment of those phenomena, you also are aware of the appearance of those phenomena as they are, rather. Yeah. So you can get to both the conventional reality as well as the ultimate reality of phenomena. So that is the fourth quality. So now fourth, fifth, sixth, they refer to the Rupakaya attainments of the Buddha state. The first three, which was, the first one was uncomposed, uncompounded. Second one was effortlessness. Third one was not being dependent on other conditions. So these three refer to the truth body attainments of the Buddha state. The fourth, fifth, and the sixth attainments, they qualities rather refer to the Rupakaya attainments of the Buddha state. So the fourth one is the Abhisambodhi, or the Jnana, the wisdom that the Buddha has. And the Buddha has the wisdom of both the ultimate and the conventional reality of phenomena. So the Buddha continuously perceives the true nature of all phenomena, and at the same time the phenomenal reality of all phenomena, the conventional reality of all phenomena, simultaneously, both of them. Then the fifth quality is the quality of compassion or karuna. So although the Buddha has perfected all qualities, he doesn't just kind of sit in a state of bliss, just enjoying, consuming the bliss of the meditative voice. Out of unbearability towards the suffering of other sentient beings, he works to educate, instruct, train, and guide the other sentient beings on this path towards liberation. So that's all because of his compassion. So like in the Madhyamaka Avatara also, when compassion is being described, it says that great compassion, which is the cause of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the Shravakas and the Pratyek Buddhas, it is important in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. So it is important in the end because even after having completed the perfections, a person who has actualized the state of Buddhahood would continue to work for others' welfare. And he thus acts as a protector for all sentient beings without exception. So that is the fifth quality. The sixth quality is the quality of power or potency. So it is a power because it overcomes suffering and afflictions through wisdom and compassion. So what kind of powers? So the Buddha, he has to use different means to instruct. Mere compassion is not sufficient. Mere wisdom is not sufficient. He has to also have the ability to, kind of customize his instructions for his disciples according to their spiritual dispositions, their maturities. And that comes through this ability, which is called upaya kaushalya, or skillful means. And he also has the ability of clairvoyances to guide individuals according to their maturity. So this sixth quality is a reference to those.
So the Dharma can be said to be sort of, it has come about because of this quality of potency.
Yeah. The Dharma?
The Dharma, which we,
like,
that is how, because of that quality, the Dharma has come to be taught
Correct.
by him, and which we are following.
That's right. Yeah. So
That's
it's caused by the, yes. Yeah, you could think about it that way. Yeah. So this is the sixth quality, and the seventh and the eighth quality, as I said, the seventh quality just subsumes the first three qualities, and the eighth one, the seventh quality is Swarth Sampat, or one's own welfare. It is by virtue of the first three qualities. And the eighth one is Pararth Sampat, or the welfare of others by virtue of the latter three, the fourth, fifth, and the sixth quality. So own welfare from amongst the two attainments. So in the state of Buddhahood, you have attained perfect abandonment of all the defilements and perfect realizations, all its power and everything, the state of omniscience, the state of perfect perception. So from amongst these two, the state or the attainment of abandonment is what refers to the first one, own welfare, perfection of one's own welfare. The state of attainment of abandonment of obscurations. Others' welfare, it flows from his attainment of the realizations. So others' welfare is by deploying his wisdom, his compassion, and his powers, his potency to ripen other sentient beings according to their dispositions and maturity. So these are the 8 qualities that that describe the state of Buddhahood, the Buddha Ratna rather. These are what describe the Buddha Ratna, and the Buddha Ratna is defined as something or an entity that has all of these 8 qualities. Yeah, it is an ultimate source of refuge, which is endowed with all these 8 qualities, not just one, not just two, all these 8 qualities. So just to sum up, what was the first quality? Asanskritatva is uncompoundedness. Yeah. Second one is anabhogatva, which is the quality of spontaneous accomplishment. Third one is apara pratyatva, which is not produced through other conditions. Fourth one is abhisambodhi or jnana, which is wisdom. Fifth one is karuna, compassion. Sixth one is potency or power. Sixth one is own welfare, and then rather the 7th one, and then the 8th one is others' welfare, parartha sampat. Yeah. So these are the 8 different qualities that describe the Buddha Ratna. So in a
Venerable.
similar manner, yeah.
So when you're talking about power, are we also talking about the Buddha? I think most of the sutras didn't speak about the supernatural powers. So
Yes.
are we also saying those are also skillful means through which he?
Yeah. Those are the powers that are being referred to here. So all those powers are a result of the different kinds of samadhis that he has actualized.
Right.
So he's endowed with a lot of different kinds of samadhis, and because of those samadhis, he has these special abilities. So without these abilities, it would be difficult for him to instruct certain kind of disciples. So he had a whole host of disciples. Like there was Nanda, who was in grip of desire and craving for his wife. He had to use specific kind of instructions to train him. Then there was the example of Angulimala. Then there was the example of some disciple called Shudra Pantaka, who was keen on the path but didn't have the intelligence to practice the path. So the Buddha had to use different kinds of techniques to instruct him. Then there was this person who challenged the Buddha, saying that your attainments are not the same as mine. And the Buddha then used his clairvoyant powers, his samadhi powers to display different kind of miracles to tame that person and tell him that my attainments are better, just to subdue his pride. So he used different kinds of techniques.
So it always amazes me because there are different other contemplative traditions. I mean, even in Hinduism, they talk about, manifesting and demanifesting bodies. So like Babaji or, these kind of traditions say that, they've been living for 700 years because, they can, all the 6 elements, they have a control. So they can manifest into a physical body and demanifest. So I was wondering how come Buddha didn't do that?
See, Buddha also displayed a few miracles. I mean, there's a record of some of the miracles that he had displayed, but that was always in relation to somebody kind of coming in and challenging him, in order to kind of subdue the pride of that disciple. And if he felt that it would benefit that disciple and he could bring him onto the path, then he would display his miraculous powers. But generally speaking, there was always this. The Buddha had given instructions to his disciples to refrain from display of power of their miraculous abilities, because then that becomes a reference to judge whether a person has attained a certain level or not, and that shouldn't be the case. The judgment should be on the basis of whether he's perfected the qualities of compassion, whether he's attained a certain kind of wisdom, whether he's removed a certain kind of obscuration. Now, it should be always on the basis of that. So that's the reason he kind of discouraged us. In fact, he made rules instructing his disciples, his monk disciples, not to display any of their miraculous abilities. But he had perfected all the samadhis that one could think of. So all these things that you just described, he could do those things also. Do those things.
Now, I always wonder if he was omniscient, omnipotent, he could have retained the elements of his physical body and remained alive forever physically. So I always wonder why he didn't choose to do that. If
So
he
he's
could.
alive. He's alive in a different form, in a different realm. Yeah. So it depends again on the karma of the disciples. Yeah. In this realm, because we ran out of our good karma, he's not there in a form that is accessible to us
Right,
directly,
right,
but
right.
he's accessible to us in the form of his doctrine. But there's something called the Sambhog Kaya, which abides in a different realm, and that is accessed by disciples even now. Only accessible to disciples who have attained a certain high level of realization, only to bodhisattvas. Then there's there's a samadhi called uninterrupted samadhi, uninterrupted dharma samadhi. So if you actualize that samadhi, you can actually, receive teachings directly from the Buddhas. So it could be
From
Shakyamuni
the
Buddha also.
Sambhog without it being a so
No,
you don't
that
need
would
a
be
Nirman
through a
Kaya.
through a different kaya, different
Okay.
manifestation, not the Sambhog kaya. So there's this incident, story about an arhat from Thailand. His name was Venerable Acharya Buridatta Thera. So he was acknowledged to have attained the state of arhat-wood. Yeah. And in his biography, he said that he would receive teachings directly from the Buddhas. But that kind of conflicts with the presentation of the concept of nirvana in the Thai tradition, where nirvana is supposed to be cessation of everything. Pure, impure, continuities, all kind of cease. Yeah. So how could you receive a teaching from a Buddha when the Buddha has already actualized nirvana? Yeah. So anyways, that incident, that story is often narrated by His Holiness in his sermons. But Acharya Buridatta Ther could continue receiving teachings from the Buddha because he had actualized that samadhi. And he would receive teaching directly from the Buddhas. So we could have access to the different kayas of the Buddha through these kind of practices. But in our normal form, it's difficult for us to receive. Yeah. Okay, so what do we break for 5 minutes and then we'll continue? We'll reassemble and then have a look at the definition of the Dharma Ratna and the Sangha Ratna quickly. And then we'll just recite or just discuss the sutra remembering the three jewels. So let's take a break for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's okay. So you want to pause the. Okay, just like the Buddha Ratna is described in terms of the 8 qualities that we just saw, the Dharma Ratna is also described through 8 qualities. And its definition is the Dharma Ratna or the Dharma Jewel is a truth of the aspect of complete purification. So it's the truth of the aspect of complete purification in a nobles or a Arya being's continuum, having one of the 8 virtuous qualities like inconceivability and so forth. So it also has 8 qualities, and it has to be part of an Arya being's continuum, a noble being's continuum. A noble being is a person who is attained a particular state of realization, which is a direct realization of shunyata or emptiness. Yeah. So the Dharma jewel is abides in their continuum, and it has 8 different qualities, or it has either of those 8 different qualities. One of the qualities is inconceivability. So I'll just inconceivability. Yeah. I'll go through I'll just give you the list of those qualities, and then we'll look at the description of those qualities. So the first quality is inconceivability. Inconceivability in terms of the 4 conceptual limits used by an ordinary polemics awareness, like you think about entity and you think it is either existent, or you fall to the other extreme of non-existent, or you think about some combination of existence and non-existence, or neither existence nor non-existence. So either of these four possibilities, and that's how we conceive of any phenomena. Or you could think about impermanent functioning thing, like a pot, as arising from itself, or arising from other, or arising from both self and other, or neither arising from self nor from other. So one of these four possibilities. So you think about these four extremes, four conceptual limits, and you try to conceive about the entity of that phenomenon.
That is a regular person.
That's a regular person's perspective. But the Dharma Ratna is inconceivable in terms of these four conceptual limits. Yeah. The second one is it is non-dual. Second one is it's non-dual. Then it is one second. Then it's so it is free from duality. Then it is non-conceptual. Non-conceptual. So the first three qualities of being inconceivable, free from duality, and non-conceptuality, these describe what is called the truth of cessation, or Nirodha Satya. So the Dharma Ratna is either of the two, the Nirodha Satya or the Marga Satya, or the truth of the path, truth of cessation or truth of the path, either of these two. Yeah. And the first three qualities that we just described are the qualities that pertain to the Nirodha Satya, or the truth of cessation. The next three, pure, manifesting, and a remedial antidote. So these are the three qualities of the Marga Satya, or the truth of the path.
Pure, manifesting,
and remedial factor, antidote. Yeah. So it is what it is and what makes free from attachment. So the truth of cessation and what leads to this truth of cessation. These are the two things which can be described as the Dharma Ratna. So the truth of cessation, which includes the first three qualities, and the truth of the path, which includes the next three qualities. So in all, we speak about 8 different qualities. So the first three are included in the truth of cessation, and the fourth, fifth, and the sixth are included in the cause of the truth of cessation, which is the truth of the path. So this is the definition of the Dharma Ratna. By virtue of its being inconceivable. Yeah, the sixth one and the 6 qualities, and just like what we saw for the Buddha Ratna, the 7th one includes the first 3, which is truth of cessation, and the 4th, 5th, and 6th are included in the 8th one, which is the cause of the truth of cessation. Yeah. So by virtue of its being inconceivable, free from the dual, non-conceptual, pure, manifesting, and a remedial factor, it is what it is and what makes free from attachment, respectively, the dharma that is characterized by the true realities. So the definition, this is the definition given in the Uttara Tantra Shastra of the Dharma Ratna. So it says, Achintya, Advaya, Nishkalpa, Shuddhi, Avyakti, Vipakshataha, Yo yena cha virago asso dharma satya dvilakshana. So the 8 qualities as described in the Uttara Tantra Shastra, Achintya, then there's Advaya. Achintya is inconceivable, Advaya is non-dual, Nirvikalpa is non-conceptual, Shuddhi is pure, Abhivyakti is to manifest or to illuminate, Pratipaksha is an antidote or a remedial factor. Virag is free from attachment, which is the truth of cessation or freedom from attachment. And Virag Hetu, which is the cause of that Virag, or the cause of the truth of cessation, which is the truth of the path. So these are the 8 qualities that should describe something that is the Dharma Ratna. So individually, when we look at these, the first one, inconceivable. It is inconceivable because of 3 reasons. First of all is, as I said, it cannot be expressed in terms of the 4 permutations like non-existence, existence, both existence and non-existence, or neither. So you can't conceive of the Dharma Ratna in terms of these 4. Yeah. It's beyond these. Yeah. It can't be expressed in either of these 4 conceptual limits. Yeah. So the truth of cessation again is kind of a permanent phenomenon, and it's similar to the emptiness of the mind of omniscient being, the omniscient mind. Even the truth of cessation cannot be expressed in these kind of conceptual limits, and it is inexpressible through any terms, voices, or etymologies, designations, conventions, etc. So that's the second reason why it is inconceivable. And it is inconceivable again because it has to be personally experienced by the noble ones. So again, it's not describable by somebody who's not cultivated it in his continuum. And the continuum has to be the continuum of a Arya being who's realized emptiness. So these are the reasons why it is considered to be inconceivable. Yeah. So that's the first quality. The second quality is Advayata or non-dual. So the text says, because of being peaceful, it is free from the dual and without conceptions.
But if it's not conceivable,
Hmm.
then how will the Arya being? I don't understand the
So
non-conceivable.
it can't be expressed in terms of words, sounds, and it can't be the object of a thought consciousness. It has to be experienced, cultivated by
I mean, the Dharma cannot be expressed in
the
words.
truth of cessation. Truth of cessation.
Oh.
The truth of cessation, you have to kind of, eliminate the defilements, the obscurations from your mind. That state of cessation of those defilements or obscurations has to be actualized in your mind stream. Yeah. You can only kind of reach, understand these things conceptually through intermediate kind of concepts. But that wouldn't be a perfect description of those states. So the second quality is the quality of being non-dual or advaya. Why? Because it is the Dharma Ratna has attained or is described as being peaceful. So the duality here is a reference to the dual obscurations of karma and afflictions. Yeah. So because, or rather, the Dharma Ratna has to be free from these obscurations of karma and afflictions. So if you've attained the state of truth of cessation, so you would have attained the state of an Arya being, and then there's no karma that can propel you into samsara. So you've gone beyond that state where you are under the, or you are powerless under the influence of karma, which can impel a new rebirth in the samsaric realms. So advaya is freedom from karma and klesh, or freedom from karma and afflictions. Nirvikalpa is non-conception, conceptuality. So it is without conceptions. And here conception actually is in reference to improper mental engagement, in the sense that because you grasp at the true establishment of phenomena, then you think about things as having some sort of an attractive nature, which is truly established. You get drawn to it, you create a desire for it, you crave it, you grasp it, and that leads to negative, unwholesome actions, leads to karma. So the Dharma Ratna is to be free from these kind of inconsonant or improper mental engagement, because it has realized emptiness, or it is kind of in the mind stream of beings who have attained the state of realization of emptiness. So that's the third one. The fourth one is purity. So Shuddhi. So the Dharma Ratna, so the first 3 are the truth of cessation. They are the qualities of the truth of cessation. These next three are the qualities of the truth of the paths that lead to cessation. So when we talk about the practice, you proceed through the path of, first you go through the path of accumulation, then you go to the path of preparation. Then at the path of seeing, you have a direct realization of emptiness. And then you have, you go to the path of meditation. So the third one is the path of seeing. Fourth one is called the path of meditation of familiarization. And then you attain the state of omniscience, which is called the path of no more learning. So it's in the third and the fourth state, the path of seeing and the path of familiarization, that you attain the states of the truth of cessations. And you could have different kinds of cessations. Depending on what kind of obscuration you abandoned, you would have a cessation, which would be the freedom from that obscuration, cessation of that obscuration. And those paths, the path of seeing and the path of familiarization, are the tools, or the paths, the truth of the paths that are being referred to here. So they are pure. The fourth quality, they are pure in the sense that they are free from their proximate obscurations. So whatever obscuration that path is, is an antidote to. So in relation to that obscuration, that path is free from that impurity. So the purity here is in relation to those paths. Yeah.
So Venerable, when you're saying, so at path of seeing, are the cognitive obscurations also gone? Is it the 10th bhumi, right? So
yeah, you would remove all the obscurations, including the cognitive obscurations, only when you attain the state of Buddhahood.
Oh.
Yeah. So the cognitive
so-
obscurations, although there could be different levels. There are the grosser cognitive obscurations, there are subtler cognitive obscurations. So when you say that you've removed cognitive obscurations, that means you've attained the state of Buddhahood. Yeah.
so then
But
path
at a
of
lower
seeing and
level, you
path
would
of
have sorry.
Sorry. So path of meditation and path of seeing, what is the exact obscuration that I'm eliminating while I move from path of seeing to path of meditation?
So the path of seeing starts with the elimination or the abandonment of an obscuration. It starts with the afflictive obscurations first.
Afflicted.
So again, there are different presentations, but let's say it starts with the afflictive obscurations, and within the afflictive obscurations also, it starts with something that is called the acquired obscurations as opposed to innate obscurations. So innate obscurations are slightly more difficult to get rid of. The acquired ones are on through the power of your association or affiliation with a certain set of tenets, with a tenets, right? You subscribe to a certain philosophical view, and based on that, you acquire certain kind of views, philosophical views, and your afflictive obscurations or the acquired afflictive obscurations pertain to those are a result of that affiliation, actually. So those are the ones that get removed first.
Chittamatra and the Prasangika. So I think Prasangika will be more profound and advanced. Right?
Yeah, so according to the Prasangic view, you start with the afflictive obscurations first. Only on the 8th, so you start, so there are the 10 Bodhisattva bhumis. From 1 to 7, it's only afflictive obscurations. And then the 8th, 9th, and the 10th one are reserved for handling the cognitive obscuration. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the fourth quality is that of purity. The fifth quality is abhivyktikaran, or illumination of different kind of phenomena. Yeah. So by virtue of being, so the when you attain this state, the truth of cessation and the truth of the paths, you're kind of in hold of a certain kind of ability to be able to shine light on all aspects of knowable objects. Yeah. So when you have, let's say, you've attained the state of, or the level of the path of seeing, with the path of seeing, you can shine light on the afflictive obscurations. Yeah, and within that, the acquired afflictive obscurations. And then you can understand the nature of those afflictive obscurations, and you know what is an antidote to that afflictive obscuration. And you deploy that and eliminate it. So the fourth and fifth and the sixth quality in the Dharma Ratna, they are compared to that to the qualities of a sun. So the orb of the sun is deemed to be pure. Yeah, so that's the purity quality of it's also similar to the purity quality of the Dharma Ratna. It illuminates all phenomena. When the sun is shining, it throws light on different phenomena. So similarly, the truth of the path, it illuminates different phenomena. So it has this quality of illuminating or abhivaktikaran, manifesting. And then pratipakshata or antidotes. So by virtue of being similar to the sun is a remedy to eliminating darkness, right? So similarly, the truth of the paths, they also are a remedy or an antidote to their respective obscuration. So these are the 6 qualities of the Dharma Ratna. And based on these, then you actualize the truth of cessation, which is virag. Yeah. So the cessation of cravings or desire, the cessation of passions, the cessation of attachment. So that is the truth of cessation, the Nirodha Satya. So the first, second, and the third qualities, they pertain to the truth of cessation. And then the fourth, fifth, and the sixth quality, they describe the cause of these cessations, or viraga hetu. So what are the 8 qualities? There's achintyata, then there's advaita, then there's nirvikalpata, then there's shuddhi, then there's abhivaktikaran, pratipakshata, and then there's virag or viraga hetu. Or what do you say? There's inconceivability, then non-duality, non-conceptuality, purity, then manifesting, and remedial antidote factor. And then you have the truth of cessation and the cause of the truth of cessation. So these are the 8 qualities that describe the Dharma Ratna. Yeah. So now let's look at the Sangha Ratna. Again, described in terms of 8 qualities. And the definition is the Sangha jewel or the Sangha Ratna are Arya beings having one of the 8 qualities that include the quality of knowing and liberation. So what are the 8 qualities? So the first one is quality of knowing the final mode of existence. The second quality is the quality of knowing phenomenal manifestations. The third is the quality of internal awareness. The fourth is the quality of being purified or devoid of any of its exclusive afflictive obscurations, including attachment. The fifth one is the quality of being pure or devoid of is exclusive obscuration, which is the cognition of the final mode or cognitive obscurations. And the sixth one is the quality of being pure or devoid of its exclusive obscuration of aspiration for self-liberation alone. So fourth, fifth, sixth are freedoms. Yeah. Fourth is freedom from, you could say, afflictive obscuration. Fifth is the freedom from cognitive obscuration. And sixth is the freedom from aspiration for pratimoksha or individual liberation. And then the seventh is the quality of knowing, which is which subsumes first, second, and third. And then the eighth one is the quality of being liberated or liberation, which is subsuming fourth, fifth, and sixth. So these are the 8 qualities of the Sangha Ratna.
So that means people or persons who have these qualities are members of the Sangha.
Are the Sangha Ratna. Yeah. Any member of a Sangha need not be a Sangha Ratna. Yeah. So, strictly speaking, only a person who has attained the state of an Arya, meaning he has a direct realization of emptiness, is qualified as a Sangha Ratna. So when you go to Refuge, you go to an Arya Sangha. Yeah. But for practical purposes, conventional purposes, you could, see even a regular Sangha member as, as a source of refuge, because you're not, you don't know what level of realization the Sangha member would be. But if you go by this definition, it's only those Arya beings who have a direct realization of emptiness. Okay, let's quickly just go through the list. The first one is wisdom of suchness. Yeah, realization. The first three are realization. The next three are liberation. So the first one is knowing the suchness nature, the suchness of phenomena. So yathavat jnana darshan. So I'll quickly just list these. So realizing the absence of intrinsic characteristics or inherent characteristics. So the intrinsic nature of phenomena, just realizing the suchness nature of phenomena, or realizing the tathagat garbha that abides in the continuum of sentient beings. Yeah. So that is the first one. The second one is yavat jnana darshan, or realizing the phenomenal reality, or just the mere appearances of phenomena. So the first one was the fundamental reality, which is the absence of intrinsic nature. The second one is knowing the mere appearance of phenomena. Third one is adhyatma jnana darshan, or inner realizations. So all these realizations have to be cultivated by the Arya being personally, individually, in his own mind stream. So he has to cultivate that inner realization. So realization of the supramundane paths in one's own personal supramundane wisdom. And that is not common with others. So in your own individual continuum. So these are the first three qualities: inner realization, realization of ultimate mode of existence, and realization of the phenomenal mode of existence, yeah, or the mere appearances of phenomena. The fourth is freedom. The fourth, fifth, and sixth one are liberation, right? Freedom. The fourth one is freedom from attachment or afflictive obscurations. Fifth one is freedom from cognitive obscurations. So by virtue of knowing the various manifestations of the Tathagat Garbha, it takes on limitless forms, but you need to have understanding, realization of even those diverse various forms, yeah, variety of forms. So you're free of those obstructions that would prevent you from accessing that level of reality. So freedom from cognitive obscurations. Then freedom from aspiration for the bliss of peace. Peace meaning the peace that is experienced by a practitioner or a trainee in the state of cessation, absorption of cessation. So these are the three freedoms: freedom from afflictive obscuration, freedom from cognitive obscuration, and freedom from aspiring for the bliss of individual liberation, the bliss of peace. Yeah. So the first three are the attainment of realizations, which is the seventh quality. And the eighth quality is the attainment of liberation, which includes the fourth, fifth, and the sixth quality. So these are the 8 qualities that describe the Sangarat. So these are the definitions of the 3 jewels. So it's a little technical. Just go back and just reflect on these qualities, and then we can continue our discussion on these 8 qualities later on. These 3 definitions. Think in our next session, we are going to start how to set up your individual daily practice. So one aspect of that would be to start with taking refuge. And your refuge becomes that much more meaningful when you understood the individual qualities of each of these 3 different ratnas. Yeah, so even in our next session, we'll continue our discussion on these refuges. So yeah, so let's just look at this sutra. The sutra of the 3 jewels. I don't know how you people online are going to go through this. What we have here is the Sanskrit version of the sutra. Oh yeah, the sutra remembering the 3 jewels. That's good. Yeah, Alice has it. Yeah. Okay, so just open that and let's just go through. We won't discuss this extensively. I'll just briefly go through the meaning of the different terms that are mentioned and described here. So it won't be a detailed commentary, but just familiarizing ourselves with the different terms and understanding the import, the meaning of those terms. Okay, so let me also open the file. Okay. All right, so okay, the sutra says, the name of the sutra is Arya Tri Ratnanusmriti Sutram, or remembering the three jewels of refuge. It starts with Nama Sarva Buddha Bodhisattvebhya or Buddhanusmriti. So remembering the Buddha Ratna. It says Itipi Buddho Bhagwans Tathagat Arhanta Samya Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanna Sugatalok लोक विद अनुत्तर पुरुषदम्य सारथि शास्ता देव मनुष्य नाम बुद्ध भगवानिति निशंस तथागत पुण्या नाम अविप्रणाश कुशल मूला नाम अलंकृत शांत्यालय पुण्य निदाना नाम चित्तो अनुवंजने कुसुमित लक्षणे प्रतिरूपो गोचरेण अप्रतिकूल दर्शनेन अभिरति श्रद्धादि मुक्ता नाम अनभिभूत प्रज्ञा अन्वमर्दिनीय बलेय शास्त्र सर्वसत्वा नाम पिता बोधिसत्वा नाम राजा आर्य पुद्गला नाम सार्थवा निर्वाण नगर संप्रस्थिता नाम अप्रमेयो ज्ञानेन अचिंत प्रतिभानेन विशुद्ध स्वरेण आस्वादिन्यो घोषेण असचिन्नको रूपेण अप्रतिस्मकायन अलिप्त कामेय अनुलिप्त रूपे असृष्ट आरूपे विप्रमुक्त स्कंदे विसंपृक्त धातुभ्य संवृत्त आयतनेय प्रचिन्नो ग्रंथेय विमुक्त परिधाने परिमुक्त सृष्ण्या ओघातुत्तीर्ण परिपूर्ण ज्ञाने अप्रतिष्ठितो अतीता अनागता प्रतिपन्ना नाम बुद्धा नाम भगवताम ज्ञाने अप्रतिष्ठित निर्वाण स्थित भूतकोटयाम स्थित सर्वसत्वलोकनीयायाम भूमो सर्व इमे तथागता नाम विशेषता सम्यक गुणाः. So these are all the different qualities of the Buddha Ratna. So it starts off by saying, thus ityapi, the Buddha. So the Buddha is understood. The term itself is understood in terms of two different kinds of qualities. Yeah. So the Tibetan word for Buddha is Sangye. Sang means to arise from ignorance. Yeah. So it refers to having eradicated all kind of obscurations. So arising from the grip of these obscurations, yeah, into a state of awareness and being endowed with two different kinds of wisdom. Ge, sang, ge. Sang is to purify or eliminate the hold of these obscurations. Ge is to blossom into a state which is described by two different kinds of wisdoms: the wisdom of ultimate reality and conventional reality. So that is the first quality. Or the what we are going through now in this part of the sutra is the different epithets of the Buddha Ratna. So Buddha is the first epithet. The second epithet is Bhagwan, or in the English text it says purified and consummate, victorious, virtuous and transcendent. So victorious, virtuous and transcendent. So victorious because he has attained victory over the four maras. And we briefly saw what those four maras are in our visualization meditation. The first mara is the mara of desire. So he's attained victory over the mara of desire, Devaputra. The second one is the mara of afflictions, afflictive obscurations. So the Klesha Mara. Third one is the Skanda Mara, the Mara of aggregates. And then the fourth one is the Mara of death. Yeah. So because you've attained the state which is free from obscurations, defilements, obscurations, as you know, drive karma. And karma is what propels a new rebirth. Yeah. So you're forever trapped in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Because you've removed, because the Buddha has removed these defilements, obscurations, he is not under the sway of this force. And hence he's eliminated the karma that would propel a new rebirth. And that's how he's conquered the Mara of death. Yeah. So these are the 4 victories that are being referred to here: the victorious, virtuous, and transcendent. So transcendent meaning he has transcended the duality of samsara and nirvana. He's gone beyond the extremes of samsara and nirvana. So of course he's removed the causes for samsara through elimination of all the obscurations. But he also does not abide in the nirvana, which is described as a state of bliss. He abides in what is called non-abiding nirvana, wherein he is, working for the welfare of other sentient beings. So he does not abide in either of these 2 extremes of peace or samsara, nirvana or samsara. So that is the transcendent. Virtuous quality, he's perfected all the virtuous qualities, which include the virtuous qualities of the body, speech, and mind. So these are the reasons why the Buddha is referred to as a Bhagwan. Yeah, Bhag actually is a reference to eliminate, dissolve. Yeah, clear away. Bhagvat, Vat is to be endowed with something. So endowed with virtuous qualities. Yeah. So Bhagwan or Bhagvat, Bhagwant is the second epithet. The third epithet is Tathagat, who has attained suchness. So thus gone. Yeah. Thus gone. So he's transcended the extremes of samsara and nirvana by relying on the realization of suchness. And he's gone to the state of perfect omniscience. Yeah. So he's gone, thus gone through the realization of thusness or suchness, he's gone to the state of perfection, Sambodhi. Yeah. Then he is described as foe destroyer or an arhant. Arhant, arihant, ari is enemy, ant of enemies, so destruction of enemies. What are the enemies? The obscurations, the afflictive obscurations. So he's conquered all foes by destroying the enemy of obscurations. Then you have entirely perfect Buddha. So Samyak Sambuddha. Yeah. So he's a perfectly and completely enlightened Buddha. He's perfected all the qualities. Yeah. The next one is full of wisdom. So full of wisdom and noble conduct, it should say. Yeah? So the epithet in Sanskrit is Vidya Sampanna and Acharana Sampanna. Vidya Charan Sampanna. So he's Sampann is endowed with Vidya as well as Acharan. So he's endowed with insight and he's endowed with virtuous conduct, and hence he's worthy of reverence. Yeah. So this is the next epithet. The next epithet, can you just scroll further? Okay. So the blissfully proceeding, the epithet is Sugat, Sugata, or gone to bliss. So the Sugata is the Buddha. He's attained the state of bliss by clearing away all the obscurations and attaining all the perfect realizations. And then you have the epithet of the knower of the world. So not just knowing the ultimate mode of existence, he also has understanding of the phenomenal existence. And hence he can guide all disciples, irrespective of what their dispositions may be, their spiritual maturities may be. So he's the supreme knower of the entire world, the knower of this world. Then you have the charioteer and subduer of beings. Okay, so the epithet there is Purusha Damya Sarati. Purush is the person. Damya is somebody who needs to be subdued, yeah, or who has obscurations in his mind stream that need to be subdued. Sarati is a charioteer, yeah. So the guide or the charioteer to all beings that need to subdue their minds. So in accordance with the predispositions and the abilities of the sentient beings that are to be tamed, the Buddha leads them onto the path of liberation. And that's the reason he's called a Sarati. Sarati of all the Purusha who need subduing of their minds. Purusha Damya Sarati. And then there's a epithet called unsurpassable one, or the unsurpassable. So Anuttara. Yeah. Vidyacharana Sampanna. Loka vid Anuttara. Anuttara. Anuttara means unsurpassable. Because he's skilled in different ways, in methods that he can deploy to train his disciples. And as I said, he trained disciples of different dispositions, maturities, like Nanda, Ambulimala, Shudra Pantaka. And then there was a disciple, not a Buddhist, called Kashyap, and he tamed him through the use of clairvoyance and miraculous display of miraculous powers. So, because he was unsurpassable even in these abilities, he's called the unsurpassable one. And then you have the teacher of gods and men, Shasta Deva Manushanam. Shasta is a teacher, Deva Manushanam. So, Deva and Manusha. So, one could say he's a teacher to all sentient beings. Why just mention gods and humans here? Any idea why only gods and humans are mentioned here?
Humans, because they have the capability of being taught, I suppose, because they have the intelligence and discrimination.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Humans and devas. So devas also have this ability. There are 4 destroyers even in the realm of devas. So his path was, what he preached was the path to liberation. And that path of liberation could be actualized by only, or the 4 destroyers could be only in the state of humans, in the realm of humans, or in the realm of devas. So what is being referred to here is his specific instructions on how to attain the state of a 4 destroyer. Yeah. So that state can be actualized only by the devas and the humans. And that's the reason only devas and humans are mentioned here. Although a little further down in the sutra, you'll find that the Shasta Sarva Sattva Nam also. So a teacher to all sentient beings is mentioned later on. So though the Buddha's teachings, all beings, Buddha's teachings are for all beings. Gods and humans are the only 2 types of disciples who can practice the path of liberation. There is no category of animal 4 destroyers. Yeah? There are the human 4 destroyers and the Deva 4 destroyers. So that's the reason Shasta Deva Manushanam is mentioned here. Then the next epithet is, or next word here is, such is the Buddha. So these are the qualities of the Buddha. So such is the Buddha Bhagavat. Okay. After that, what you find is a description of some of his qualities. Yeah. So what it says is, he who is thus gone exemplifies the merit, which is his cause. Yeah. In him, no root of virtue is ever worn away through his manifold. Till these 2 points actually describe some qualities of the state of Buddhahood. So the first few words were about the epithets, the different epithets of the Buddha. So there's Buddha, there's the Shasta, the Tathagat, then there's the Sugat, then there's Shasta, yeah, Lok with Anuttara. So all these are epithets of the Buddha. Yeah. What we find here is a description of the qualities of the Buddha. So Nishandasa Tathagata Punya Nama. So he who is thus gone, he embodies the merit, which is his cause. So his state was caused by a lot of merit. So this line describes is a reference to all the merit that is accumulated through various lifetimes that he's been through. So in each of his previous lifetimes as a Bodhisattva, whenever he engaged in a virtuous deed, what he would say is, may this be a cause for me to continue working for the welfare of all sentient beings. So that merit would become unendless. Yeah. Because if you aspire and you engage in a virtuous deed and you direct that merit from that virtuous deed to, let's say, the attainment of a fortunate rebirth, then the moment you are born in a fortunate realm, that merit is exhausted. But in his case, all virtuous deeds, you would say that, may I keep engaging in such virtuous deeds for the welfare of all sentient beings. So every time he engaged in, so it was like an infinite kind of regression. So every time he engaged in a similar virtuous deed, that would propel him, give him more energy to engage in similar deeds in the future. So the Buddha keeps accumulating merit by these actions. and it helps him continue working on the path to further the welfare of other sentient beings. And that's the reason his root of virtue is never worn away. Yeah, because he's dedicating it for the ultimate state, which is to reach a state where he can continue working for the welfare of beings. So all his merit is dedicated towards that. Hence, his merit is not worn away. Yeah, so that is the second quality that is being described. We'll just take another 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll try and wind up this thing. So the next few terms that are being described in the sutra, they are expressions about how he benefits sentient beings by manifesting the different kayas. We spoke about the 4 different kayas, right? The truth, the dharma kaya, and the rupa kaya. Within the rupa kaya, there's the sambhog kaya and the nirman kaya. Okay, so alankrita shantaya, where it says, he who is thus gone exemplifies the merit which is his cause. In him no root of virtue is ever worn away. Through his manifold patience, he is exceedingly beautiful. So that and then okay, so through his manifold patience, he is exceedingly beautiful. So this is the root cause of his kayas. So he's adorned with patience, which gives him a beautiful kind of disposition, appearance. And that beautiful body then becomes an effective tool to work for the welfare of other sentient beings. Yeah. So the beautiful body of the Buddha arises from the cause of patience. So alankrita shanta. Shanta is patience, tolerance, and is endowed with that. And alay punya nidhananam, or he is the treasure ground of merit. So he is the foundation of the treasures of merit. So the treasure word here refers to inexhaustibleness. Yeah, the word foundation refers to the source from which arise many other benefits. So this phrase, what it shows is the individual, the merit that goes to the creation of the individual aspects of his body. So patience is the root cause which determines the overall form. But various individual aspects of his body are also caused by different meritorious activities. So he is the holder, he is the treasure house of these kind of merits. So these merits are the cause of individual aspects of his being. Yeah. Then the next quality refers to his minor marks. So it says, adorned with the tokens of enlightenment. He is graced with the flowers or the marks of Buddhahood. So the tokens of enlightenment are the minor marks of his body, the 80 minor marks of his body. And then there are the 32 major signs. Yeah. So Chitrito Anuvanjaneya. Anuvanjan is the minor marks, minor signs, minor marks rather. And Kusimito Lakshaneya, full blossoming of his major marks. So he's ornamented with the excellent minor marks and is the full blossoming of the major marks. And then the next qualities further on, from here on, they talk about the enlightened physical activities of the Buddha. I think it's better we stop here because we won't be able to complete the sutra anyways. So what we'll do is when we start our next session, anyways, it's related how to set up your daily practice. And as I said, reflecting on the 3 jewels of refuge is an essential aspect. So we'll have to kind of continue this discussion in the next session. We'll look at the rest of the sutra, which talks about the qualities of the Dharma Ratna and the Sangha Ratna. Okay, so let's just take a moment to reflect on the discussion that we had and dedicate the merit from the discussion that we had today. So just take a moment to reflect on the discussion. And then develop this confidence that we accumulated some merit through participation in this discussion today. And let's dedicate that merit. So due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all sentient beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Okay. Thank you. So homework. Next time, as I said, we'll continue our discussion on the sutra. So just have a look at the rest of the sutra and see if you can understand what those terms in the sutra, each of those terms refer to, what qualities they refer to, what epithets they refer to. Just try and relate it to the discussion that we have today. Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
all of you.
Thank
online.
you.
Thank you, Venerable. Thank you for your teachings.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I have to stop the recording, no?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the power is also gone now. Let us reduce the consumption.
So this is